Hi everyone, and a happy new year to you all. Just a reminder, all this information is freely available on the internet. So, on Christmas Eve we had a significant update to DCS, namely 2.9.11.4686 for those that are keeping track. And part of the update included some tweaks to the Chinook, one of which hopefully will help you fly it even better. I've had words that the aircraft doesn't fly well post this update. With Christmas and everything else, been doing a lot of travelling, so not really had much time to get on DCS, but I had a good kind of go today. And to be honest, I know there was like another tiny update to this as well, but I've not really noticed any kind of major issues in terms of flying the aircraft itself. And yeah, I'm not kind of reaching for Bob, so the updates that we've had previously that have got us up to this position, yeah, they seem to be working pretty well. So in terms of the updates themselves then, so I'll just kind of read those out now then. So this is taken straight from the update log provided to us by Eagle Dynamics that you can see up on the screen there. So added trimmer options, added trimming with hat on stick. So yeah, these are things that we'll have a look at in this video today. Windshield wipers, yeah, not going to look at that today, but yeah, it's kind of good that they've added that functionality in there, along with the fixing the problems. What was that with? Yeah, so they park, not sprung loaded switches. Yeah, I've noticed that with some of the, I'm trying to think one of the other switches which I've had some problems with, which I'm thinking this should be sprung loaded, but it's not actually doing that. What else? A cyclic position for air start. Okay, LCT indicator scale, yeah, we'll look at that one. Ground crew failed to repair engines. Well, yeah, I guess you just need to pay them some more cash, or give them some beer or something like that, and they'll sort it out for you. LCT schedule corrected. Now, yeah, I don't talk about it in this video, but come to think of it, you know, when I've been flying the aircraft and especially kind of, you know, slowing down to land and things like that, I think I mentioned in one of the previous videos how the LCT, you know, it was almost like, I suppose, a combination, you know, of that and other factors. Almost felt like it was kind of porpoising or something like that, but so I've not really sort of noticed that now, but I need to go back and have another look for that one. IR strobe pattern, yeah, okay, not looking at that one. Ramp, so we will look at the ramp. Dash tweaks, yeah, it kind of goes into what I was just talking about a second ago with how it's a bit smoother in general, the transition from, yeah, from like zero speed accelerating forwards and coming to land and things like that. Improved crew animation faster when switching seats. I'm not really sure I kind of had that problem before, but okay, that's good. And then improved, so further work on the CDU pages. Now this, you know, this is where it's good to have a list of things, but it can become a bit sort of ambiguous as to what exactly it is that they've done, and it does lead to many questions online. So anyway, yeah, I mean, it can be a bit of fun to kind of suss it out. Obviously gives me kind of the opportunity to make a video and that kind of stuff, but yeah, sometimes it's like, oh, it would be nice to have a bit more kind of detail for sure. So first of all, and this is probably the most significant change, is the enabling of the trim. So it's the first two points where it talks about basically added, right, trimmer options and trimming with hat on stick. I mean, it's really, that one bullet point should just really be one, right? So first, for a bit of theory, and for this we can go back to that Army manual. So this is a US Army manual which is available kind of freely online. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And whilst the manual it is pre-DAFIX, it's still a similar operation. So yeah, we can go and look at it and go, okay, this is what's going on. So this is what it says in the manual. The AFCS trim switch is used to make small changes in the pitch, so airspeed and roll attitude, while the AFCS is operating. The switch is sprung loaded to center off position, similar to what we've got on the DAF equipped aircraft. Moving the switch forward or aft from center off position commands an increase, so forward, or decrease aft in airspeed by driving a trim motor in the longitudinal CCDA. Moving the switch left or right commands the roll ILCA to bank the helicopter in the selected direction without moving the stick. So I'll be able to demonstrate that. I'll show you that in the video. Also, when it's talking about ILCA, so basically these are the items that essentially help the pilots to move the flying controls, right? Because if we didn't have any kind of hydraulic assistance, it'd be an absolute nightmare to try and move the flying controls. So that's where the integrated lower control actuators are going to come in. Okay, so here we are, we're back kind of cruising over the Pacific. A couple of things to keep an eye on, obviously the AFCS trim switch, also the LPI indicator as well. So now I'm going to trim forward. You notice how the stick is moving forwards, right? And if we go to the outside, you just kind of press the button down and there you go. You can see how it's having a significant kind of impact. Now, obviously, you know, you're not going to carry on flying like that, right? Because you're going to end up in the drink or something like that. And there you go. We're kind of just beeping it back again, right? So essentially, it is like a combination of things, right? So you're going to use it just to kind of set yourself up into a nice sort of, you know, cruise or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve for that particular flight. So the next thing that we need to do is actually move that trim hat either to the left, to the port side, or starboard, and this is going to enable us to roll the aircraft, right? And essentially it puts, if we beep it all the way over, it will put the aircraft into a 20-degree bank within, you know, plus or minus 5 degrees. That's what they look for when they're doing like a flight test or whatever. You'd expect it to be accurate though, especially for DAFX. And not only that, but it's going to hold it there, right? This is obviously the difference, because you're trimming it across, you're not having to hold the stick across. The stick, if you notice, stays absolutely rock solid in the middle when we're rolling to the left and to the right. So essentially we're putting the aircraft into a coordinated turn. So that's yeah, that's pretty good that we got that trim available. Next then, the LCTAs. So park the aircraft on the deck. Just a reminder, that's where the indications are. And obviously, if we're going to if we're going to demo these, it's best to kind of do it on the ground. And we'll flick it into manual. And first of all, we'll operate the forward, right? So the forward switch, you can see there, look, so it's extended all the way up, back through ground, into retracts, and that's good. And then we're going to do the same thing with the aft. Now this was something that was picked up by 47 Driver. That I can't remember which one of the switches, it might have been the aft one, was basically working the opposite way round. But as you can see here, the switches are working correctly and extend and retract as they should do. And when we go back to auto, because the aircraft's on the ground, weight on wheels, you'll see both of them are going to motor to the ground position, right? So that's good. That's another kind of fix. That's, yeah, through feedback from us in the community. DCS, or Eagle Dynamics, should I say, have put a fix. So there you go. Okay, so the final thing we're going to have a look at is the ramp. So you can see at the moment the ramp is in its fully closed position. The door part that you see at the top, so the UK kind of refer to that as a ramp tongue, but I know the US Army call that the cargo door. So what we're going to do is we're going to move it into the fully down position. First thing that will happen is that it drops about 8 inches there or thereabouts, and then the tongue actually retracts into the ramp itself. Then we move it down to the next position, and then finally down to bottom. To be honest, I could maybe have done this on the ground, but there you go, because there's no way you're going to put the tow ramps, which are the bits at the end. You're not going to kind of pop those out when you're flying along, unless you're some kind of Australian stuntman. That's for sure, right? And then we're going to do the opposite, right? So we're going to bring the tow ramps in. So we're going to magically, because we're kind of flying through the air, kind of pull those back in again, and then we just repeat. And I just wanted to finally kind of show you quickly what was going on inside. So there's with the ramp tongue closed. It's normally how you'd fly over the sea. I will at some point kind of go through all of this inside, because there is an awful lot of detail here which is really, really good. I do love like things like the weathering on the tow ramps. That's very authentic. I do kind of like that, and we'll talk about some of the other items that are here. I know I've asked questions before in the community bit about, you know, elephant's ears and tow ramps and all that kind of stuff, so we can talk about that. DCU on the side there and into the cabin, and the transmission drivetrain above your head, hydraulics, all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, it's great to see all of that in the model itself. But just kind of sticking with the ramp in particular, there is kind of one sort of other kind of aspect to this, because when you're operating the ramp tongue in and out, now if you're doing it from the rear crewman's position, you can see the option there, but a thing called a sequence valve, that's the thing that's going to determine basically whether that ramp tongue comes in or out. So it's good that we are getting these updates. They're coming through kind of slowly but surely, I guess. And yeah, we are kind of making our way towards having, I guess the aircraft is still kind of in early access. I don't know whether that's kind of like an excuse for kind of ED or something like that, but at least, yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying kind of flying it. And I know we talk about DAFX being like a game changer. I know certainly when we do get the full kind of functionality, it will kind of offer you the ability to take on challenging flying, but also, you know, not have to kind of fight the aircraft, right, and actually enjoy flying it and doing missions and things like that. There are some, you know, still some little quirks. There's a few things, for example, inside the cockpit that I kind of look at and I think, well, you know, how come, for example, things like the backup power switch is still off when you do like a hot start, for example, in this sort of demo here. PTUs are off and things like that. I mean, surely that's a simple kind of fix that they could put through kind of quite quick. But yeah, I guess it's kind of somewhere on the list. But anyway, kind of looking forward to lots of great kind of updates for this aircraft and kind of DCS in general, because I suppose not forgetting that the game as a whole has just had a really kind of significant update, right? But yeah, looking forward to it. Happy New Year again, and yeah, catch you on the next one. Bye bye.